Welcome to Slash Forward. In this episode, we're going to revisit the Zombieland universe with the 2019 sequel, Double Tap. Let's get to it. We open with some narration to catch us up, teaching us that zombies have continued to mutate and develop, delineating into 3 distinct classes for indiscernible reasons. Meanwhile, our gang is taken finding a home to an elite level and settle into a form of domestic calmness. They spend their time avoiding Lincoln's creeper eyes and leveling up their gear. But we can only resist change for so long as Tallahassee's constant nurturing is suffocating a now teenaged Little Rock, and Columbus's attempt to lock down Wichita only reminds her of the ubiquity of divorce, even in Zombieland apparently. So with the rise of the morning sun, the gentlemen find a note indicating the girls have left, and as we watch them go, we see that they almost immediately happen upon the solution to half of their problems. After skulking around for a month, Tallahassee reveals he has the nomadic blood of a Native American princess coursing through his veins, and he has to get out. So they head to the mall hoping to blow off some steam. However, some things don't change, and they still find Yankee candles unaffordable without a coupon. Here, Columbus meets Madison, who spent the last several years living off of supplies from the mall and staying safe in a walk-in cooler. This is a much less cagey meeting than they're used to, and Columbus immediately invites her back to the White House. She interrupts the tour to test out the bed, having gone too long keeping it cool in the icebox. Later, Tallahassee is alerted by a sound not related to sexing, and he goes to investigate. He and Columbus find Wichita has returned, but for guns only, because Little Rock left her in the night and she has to go after her. Turns out the seducer lured her away with his enlightened pacifism and ideas of visiting Graceland, a welcome destination. She also reveals there's a new type of hyper zombie out there roaming the plains. Before bed, Columbus is able to pull an apology from Wichita for ditching him, but the victory is tempered somewhat when she finds out what he's been up to. The next morning they head out and find possible alternative transportation. They approach cautiously, but Madison jumps the gun, setting off the alarm and alerting a horde of zombies. They deploy in a formation and get right back to old form like a well-oiled machine. But at the final boss fight, they meet one of the new zombies, dubbed the T-800, which has apparently plugged into the Matrix and can only be defeated via total annihilation. The tour bus doesn't work out, so they end up back in the Teal Bullet. Madison looks a bit peakish, so Columbus does the only humane thing, taking her for a walk and putting her out of her misery. They arrive at Graceland that night and find it's been razed. But just around the corner is a mini Graceland, and the Beast. So they go inside and Tallahassee lays down some bars while the others search. And he quickly finds that all the signs of care and occupation were actually from a caretaker occupying the facility. After pleasantries, they establish that Little Rock and Berkeley were headed for a hippie commune, and we see they're unwittingly dragging a herd of T-800s behind them. Tallahassee and Nevada bond over stories about Elvis and find they truly enjoy each other's companionship. The next morning, Little Rock and Berkeley arrive at the commune, where their guns are melted down and they're adorned with blazing hot pendants in exchange. Then they're taken to be given a tour of the rooftop sanctuary. Less sublime, Tallahassee wakes up with some redneck monster trucking his ride outside. They get into an innuendo battle in which the use of the driveway represents Nevada. When she goes ahead and puts an end to that herself, Albuquerque introduces his number 2, Flagstaff, who is strikingly familiar.
What is going on here?
Oh, it's an old bit from Shaun of the Dead. They get to know each other a bit at the bar, where Albuquerque seeks to demonstrate himself as a true badass. So when several T-800s arrive, they elect to handle them without assistance. Unfortunately, he comes away with a parting gift. Luckily, Flagstaff seems to be okay. They get into an extended battle that ruins the decor, but ends with our gang successfully putting them down. As they head out, Tallahassee finds the monster truck unwieldy, and so they're forced back into the minivan. On the way to Babylon, they come across an unusual sight, Madison driving an ice cream truck. As it turns out, Columbus pulled a Miller's Crossing on her, which was good, because she was just suffering from a nut allergy. They drive through the night, eventually arriving at Babylon, and make the tough decision to give up their guns. However, when they find Little Rock, they recognize she's safe and in good hands, leaving Tallahassee fulfilled and ready to move on. But on his way out, he runs across a horde of T-800s heading for the Soft City, forcing him to return, and for them to cram all their remaining character development into a quick scene, so they can get to planning and training. With all the pieces set in place, they set off a zombie tantalizer, drawing them into a funnel point where they can light them up. It goes smashingly, but the group of stragglers they expected proved to be of a much more significant volume than anticipated. Close to death, they get a last-second reprieve from Nevada, hitting some classic moves and smearing zombies all over the courtyard. She then tries for a quick Gravedigger signature move, but flips it. They work their way up the stairs into a zombie buffalo run off the building, but with the last pair managing to snag Tallahassee. Little Rock reveals she retained her sidearm, saving him, and then requiring them to work out the last and most important step of their plan on the fly, apparently. And then, in the heat of the moment, they all partner up and make out. And that was Zombieland Double Tap, a pretty good horror comedy, but one that doesn't do much to push beyond the scope of the original. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to become a part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.